Awesome. Great. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here tonight. I'm Maura from, Coach Maura. So it's super to have everyone here tonight. I'm in the Eastern time zone, so it's 8 o'clock my time. And I know some of you are just getting off work, and some of you, it's like in the middle of the workday still. So I appreciate you all taking the time and coming on. I am going to share my screen and you can tell me what you see. Just a second here.
Nothing yet.
Okay.
There you go. It's starting.
Okay. And I am going to go to do one more thing here. Should be right here. Okay. There we go. All right. So now you should see.
I can see it. I see it.
Yay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Is it just like a big screen of me now?
Yep.
No.
I can. It looks like
No,
the
it's
beginning
okay.
of the
Thank you.
PowerPoint.
It says the conversion of heart and health and heart.
That's exactly perfect. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, so tonight we're all here to learn how to, I assume most of us are probably over 50, and we're looking to change our behaviors, lose belly fat, rebuild strength, and fit in our clothes again. So I'm going to give you some keys to do that. So you'll be able to take everything tonight, and most people can lose at least 10 pounds just by doing these things. The self-talk is really important to be able to, so we'll get into like the identity work. Um, so even if every single diet has stopped working, along the way, this should go ahead and help you. So I am, this is what's running through your head possibly right now. So a lot of people think the weight gain is their fault. They have cravings. They're so hungry that they binge, or they're exhausted and they just give up. They think their metabolism is broken. I have heard that so many times, like something is wrong with my metabolism, or, nothing is wrong with you. Your body is most likely responding to the fact that most people undereat and overexercise, or a combination of both. And so their body tends to hold on to everything. And if you're thinking that you are just too old to start, I am here to tell you you're not. And I'm going to show you some woman that I just started working with a year or so ago. She was 79, and you'll see her progress. She's just doing amazing. So if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm just not good at dieting, that's because you're trying the same diet that, used to work years ago. And our bodies are different. You know that. You feel it, I'm sure. So in the next 90 minutes or so, we're going to cover the three keys that you may have seen on the page when you registered. The protein forward is the first key, the muscle reshape, and then the pause and pivot, or the identity piece. So we're going to go through all of those things, and I am going to make sure that you have all the tools you need. So let's do this. Oh, this is a great one. And we're in August, so 4 months from now. You can imagine the situation where you wake up and you have a Christmas party, and we all have that little black dress, right? Or the little dress, whatever it is, hanging in the closet that we're hoping someday. And the thing is, that could just be this year. So the same dress that hasn't been able to zip is now going to fit you. Or, your grandkids call and they want to go sledding and you've always, oh, my knees, my body. But this time you're like, yeah, I can do it. I can actually get up and down. Um, I can respond when my family wants to do things with me. And that's really what this whole system is about. So, okay, so why can I help you with this? Yeah, I have a lot of certifications, but honestly, I've been doing this for a long time. I absolutely love what I do, and I have been in the field for over 30 years. I When I was in college, I graduated in the 90s, and my degrees were psychology and fitness. And right after that, that was in 92, I graduated. I went on for my dietetics and worked at a health club, personal training and doing nutrition counseling with my clients because the personal training alone just wasn't giving them the results that they wanted. So yeah, I have that, but I've more importantly worked with women just like you. And I know what you're going through because I also went through it. And I have gone through an eating disorder and I have gone through the binge cycle, the emotional, just putting yourself down. Um, I've also, I've lost and regained the same 30 pounds, not counting kids, just cycling all over the place. And so I understand. And postmenopausal, that's a whole different issue. So I've learned things about how to actually help with our bodies at this point. So, yes, so there's that. And I love what I do. I love it. Like, I love this. You're my ladies, like over 50 postmenopausal women that just want to change. I just love it. So what we're going to cover tonight, like I talked about, why the formula has not been working for us since postmenopausal. That's one. The next one is the conversion of health and heart for the protein. We're going to talk about those keys that I talked about before, the protein forward, the behavior system, and the strength training. So we're going to go over all of those three keys, and then we're going to wrap it up with how to put this all together and walk away with an actual plan for tonight. So the most important thing is that nothing is wrong with you. You're not doing anything wrong. You've just been told. I mean, we've all bought into this lie that you have to eat less and move more. And we have been pummeled with it. It's like one of my clients, I was talking to her, she said, I know I'm doing great and I'm making progress, but I look in the mirror and I think, blah. And I'm like, well, we have been told to think that about ourselves for the last 40 years because society doesn't, we are not supposed to love ourselves, right? That's what we're told. We're never going to be good enough, but that's not true. That is the lie that we have been believing. So it's done. We're going to call their bluff. So most people do believe that if they have more discipline, they just ate less, cut calories, worked out harder, the weight would just come off. So on the surface, it does sound correct because it has worked before. But actually eating less is it's not only making, it's not the solution, it's making the problem worse. So I am going to, I don't know if you ladies can see this. I'm going to minimize that. Okay. I don't know if you could see that, but it was bothering me. Okay, so after 50, we know eating less is not the solution. It's more of the problem. So the harder you try to undereat or white knuckle it, it's going to hold on to that fat even more. So let's talk about why that's not working anymore. Why over 50, our body is not responding the same way. So this happens after the age of 50. We know muscle mass declines naturally. That's without, like, it just is declining 3 to 8% per decade. So unless you're actively working against that by strength training. So postmenopausal women lose 5 to 8% of their metabolic rate independent of age-related decline. So it could be anywhere between, 40, 45 and 60 whenever people go through menopause. That is a drop correlated with your estrogen there. We know bone density decreases up to 20% in the first 5 to 7 years after menopause. And the reason that this is so incredibly important is because a lot of people don't think about the bone density aspect of strength training or taking care of your body, but you are so much more prone to muscle breaks after menopause. So it's just all the more reason to pay attention to how you're treating your body, what you're treating it with. So, and then we know 95% of diets fail long term. So most women regain it within 1 to 5 years. So cortisol dysregulation after menopause, we hear a lot about cortisol, and we always think cortisol is terrible, right? It's bad, but it's not necessarily bad. We have a natural high cortisol in the morning, and the goal is to bring the cortisol down throughout the day. If we are stressing our body out, or if we are under eating or over exercising, or just stressed with life, if there's situations going on, that cortisol remains high. So there's certain things we can do to bring that down, but the cortisol is correlated to an increased belly fat. And emotional eating patterns. So those things, just metabolic age overall, if your age is causing your your basal metabolic system to slow down 7 to 8%, that could be a matter of, 150 calories or so per day. And that may not seem like a lot, but over the course of a year, it could be like 12 pounds. And so if you're watching that scale constantly increase by doing nothing different, that could be the main culprit. So I'll teach you how to actually counteract that. So what that means, what needs to be changed is just fighting your body. So you can't, how does the saying go? You can't hate yourself into loving your body or something like that. Like, you fighting your body is not going to work. So we were not given the body that we have to thrive on deprivation, right? That's not how we're supposed to live. So we have this body in this season right now, and it's like rebuilding our house, because like the house that I live in right now, it was built in the 80s. Everything seems to be going at once. And that's kind of like menopause, because everything kind of like it feels like an avalanche. Like all of a sudden everything is not going right and it's falling apart. But we're just going to rebuild, and we're going to use everything, all the tools that we can to create this beautiful house. So we're going to learn how now. We're not going to just patch it up with a quick fix that might patch it for, 5 months, 6 months, a year. We're going to learn how to do this, long term. So I'm going to show you just some quick clients that I've worked with over the last just few years. Laura was one that just came to me. She was in her late 50s. So she was actually under eating, as most people that are in our age group, most people are under eating. We brought her calories up and increased her protein.
And while attempting to swap out a
120.
greater blade needed to fix this stretch
And
highway, road
I'm just
supervisor
gonna
found today
quickly
that's in a bit of a snag, specifically a 7 millimeter nut.
go. So we increased her protein to 120, and then what she ended up doing is, rather than doing the hour of cardio, we just had her focus on strength training and installed the pause and pivot theory, which is this system is something that I developed over the last I don't know, 5 years, 10 years. So I'm going to teach you that too. So she lost weight, lost inches, and arm definition. So when I'm talking about weight, I really don't want to talk about like just weight loss, because you'll be learning about how your body needs to keep muscle, to keep that metabolic rate up, to keep your bone density strong. But you don't just want to deprive calories. So you want to make sure that you keep your protein high so that your body is not going to be breaking down the muscle that you do have. So, and then, yeah, so she's not the exception. She is exceptional, but not the exception here. A couple other, Mary Eileen. The reason that I brought Mary Eileen up is because she is an executive, and she travels, I would say, about 60% of the time. So she's on the road. So I wanted to spotlight her, not because she lost a ton of weight, but she gained a lot of muscle and stamina, and her energy totally changed, and she's, stronger and feeling better than she ever has. So she only lost 15 pounds in 15 months, but lost fat and converted that. So yeah, they just had the right formula. So let's go ahead and get into it. So why eating more protein is important, anchoring it at breakfast, and the plate is going to, the order that you eat things is going to actually take care of your cravings. So the fastest way to lose after 50 is to eat more. So you're going to be eating more food, whole food, but more protein. So most people are not, they're not under disciplined. You're just under eating, and especially protein. So I would say, I would bet money on the fact that most of you are eating probably 40 to 60 grams of protein in a day, which is normal. And but your body needs more than that. So we're going to try and bump that up. I have everyone try and hit at least 100 grams of protein a day. And that means we're dividing that into at least 3 meals. So we're going to try and hit 30 grams at breakfast, 30 grams at lunch, and 30 grams at dinner. So anchoring your protein does 3 things. It stabilizes your blood sugar, which tends to send us on our cravings. It protects the muscle, so it's not going to break it down when your body needs to have that protein. And it speeds up your metabolism, but it also speeds up when you're digesting it. So there's something called the thermic effect of food. And what that means is when you're digesting protein, you're actually going to be burning calories when you're digesting protein. So that's the thermic effect of food. And so when you're eating carbohydrates, it really doesn't have too much of a thermic effect, and fat, not at all. But protein actually does. So that's another benefit of it, just increases your metabolism even more to have that protein. And the protein that you're eating is going to decide whether it's going to hold onto your fat or release it. It's going to decide whether it breaks down the muscle that you have, or what it's going to use for that. So making that switch makes everything easier. So the restriction strategies are, I love just adding things rather than taking away. Most diets that are taking things away. So it's like, don't eat this, don't eat that, don't eat that. The only thing you need to do is add protein, and everything will fall into place after. So if you're just adding protein, your cravings are going to die down, which means you're not going to want that afternoon, I don't know, popcorn or chips or whatever it is, if you're consistently doing this. So I love just having the additional strategy. So keto it's very difficult to sustain, and it rebounds the moment those carbs do return. So because the carbohydrates are holding on to water, so it's mostly just water waste, the water weight that you're losing when you're on keto. So adding protein means that there's no food restriction, there's no banned foods. It's just adding protein and eating it first so that you're satisfied. It's going to give you a satiety that the other macronutrients of carbohydrates and fat don't. So when we wake up, I talked about that cortisol being higher. And so when you're eating that high protein breakfast, it actually is going to help lower that cortisol through the day. So it just naturally does that. So, and like I talked about, most other strategies are to restrict and take away. And this is just adding. And that's pretty easy. So how much protein do you need? I've said you probably need over 100 grams. That's kind of my minimum I have for most ladies. So your goal is taking your target body weight. So say you might weigh 170 right now, and your target body weight is 130 or 150. Say it's 150. So what you're going to do is take your target weight of 150 and times that by 0.8 to 1 gram. So you're going to have probably closer to 120. So I guess a 100, I could just look at this example. The 190-pound woman who has a goal of 150 aims for about 120 to 150 grams a day. So this is the single most important number that you can track inside. So when you're tracking your food, if you're tracking your food, it's really important to make sure that you are getting your protein, much more so than the calories. So, okay, it's the one nutrient, we talked about that decides what your body is going to do. Okay, so anchoring your protein 30 to 40 grams in the first thing in the morning, it helps your blood sugar stay stable and cravings stay quiet, and every food decision for the rest of the day gets easier. And it's very, very true. Like there's some days that I find Sundays, like it seems like after we go to church, sometimes there's a pancake breakfast, or we go out and we might have, I don't know, like whatever it is, French toast or donuts or whatever. And I can tell a difference, my blood sugars, my cravings. It's just like I'm always picking throughout the day. So you can experiment and try to see the difference between how your body reacts, just to be aware of the difference in how you're feeling. So, and like we talked about, we're not going to stop just at breakfast, right? We're going to have protein at every meal. So we want protein first, and this is the plate order that I was talking about. So we're going to focus on protein first. And right after that, we are going to focus on vegetables. And I'm just going to, I think, I'm not sure. Perfect. Okay. I don't know if you ladies could hear that. So we're focused on the protein first, and right after that, we're going to try and get our veggies. And why is the veggie? I mean, yes, we're taking the rainbow back, and yes, we are eating all those micronutrients, but the main reason is because we're getting that fiber. And so we're going to talk about fiber too. Fiber is so important in being satisfied and creating that satiety that we are wanting our body to feel like it is getting the food it needs, which it should. The carbs and fat in whatever room is left. So as long as it's not garbage, like we're trying to stay away from processed foods, of course. So, but this sequence keeps blood sugar steady, and it really takes the willpower out from, you know, it's just less work on your part. So that is beautiful. Heather, the reason that I focused on Heather for this talk is because she was on a GLP-1, and there's nothing wrong with being on a GLP-1, but she was definitely sarcopenic. And sarcopenia means you are losing muscle, and that puts you at great risk for bone loss and broken bones, and just you're wasting away. So you're going to be skinny fat. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me just go ahead and do that. So when I'm dealing with people that have been chronically under eating, or if they're on a GLP-1, it's even far more important that we create that protein of, you know, really bumping that up. So she was maybe on a good day at 45 grams of protein. But when she started strength training and increasing her protein, like everything changed. So she really, really did an amazing job of turning that around. So it's not too late. And I think she was in her late 50s when I was working with her. So protein first. Eat the protein first, the veggies second, and the carbs and fat in whatever room is left. So we've talked about why and why it's important to have all of those running together. Oh, so the next thing we're going to talk about is muscle and why it's important to build muscle. So most of us have grown up like doing Joni Greggins and Richard Simmons, and there is nothing wrong with those because we love cardio and we love taking care of our heart. But only doing cardio is not exactly what we want. So we are going to talk about why muscle is so important. So muscle accelerates after menopause. We talked about that. So 3 to 8%. And that starts actually in your 30s. So it is crucial to start strength training early on. Now, even if it starts speeding up after 50, so regardless of whether you've been strength training or not, there is no time like the present. So we're going to go ahead and try and do what we can now and increase that muscle mass. So we talked about muscle burning more calories even when your metabolic rate, even when you're sleeping. So your basal metabolic rate is the amount of calories that your body needs when it's at rest. So if I were sitting at my desk working all day, or laying on the couch watching TV on a day off or something, this is like bare minimum. My basal metabolic rate is the bare minimum to just keep my body functioning, my heart pumping, breathing, all of these things. So having more muscle increases the amount of calories my body needs to keep my lights on. So if I was laying there a year ago, it might have been 1,200 calories to just be at rest all day. But after building muscle, it could be at, 1,500, 1,800 now. So you're going to be building that muscle so that your body can have a higher thermic effect, a higher thermos. The thermostat is going to be cranking up. So the good thing about muscle is when you're strength training, you have the effects of that long after. So those effects are going to stay with you long after. And like I said, as you're growing that muscle, it's going to be 24/7. But with the cardio, if you're doing cardio, the moment you step off that treadmill, that is actually when that burn stops. So it doesn't give us that same thermic effect. So it just is an immediate calorie deficit right there. So cardio, or, spin, anything like that versus muscle, we have what you possibly have been doing is doing cardio. Your daily cardio loses muscle alongside of the fat, and strength training sessions rebuild that muscle. The reason that daily cardio, I say it loses muscle, is typically if you're doing a lot of cardio and you're not increasing your protein, your body is going to start to break that muscle down. And so it needs the muscle, it needs that protein. So we don't want to do that. If you're doing a lot of cardio and cranking that, the protein up and getting ample nutrients to fuel that, that's a different story. Now, Pilates and bar are really great for core, and balance, but they don't progressively overload. And so the compound lifts are not getting heavier over time. So you're not building muscle, you're maintaining. And the boot camp, like those classes, if you're screaming all over the gym, those are drastically going to increase your cortisol. And so we don't want to drastically increase your cortisol, like not it's not necessary. So we're just going to work intentionally on building muscle and then really respect your recovery time. So that's one thing that's really important, is not only the building of the muscle, but the recovery portion is really oftentimes overlooked. So you need that after you do a strength training session, you really want to prioritize letting that muscle recover to give you the results that you want. So that's why most people will strength train every other day, so that you're not working that same muscle group twice in a row. So if you do strength train 2 days in a row, hopefully you're alternating muscle groups, or like an upper body and a lower body or something like that. So, and then lastly, the hours, you could spend hours doing cardio with very little shape change. And the strength training, we're going to do 3 times a week, and we're doing it right around 30 minutes. So typically, I really don't want people strength training 7 times a week. And like I said, especially women that are postmenopausal, we need parasympathetic days and we need to recover. So I just ask for 3. Possibly as you get more advanced, you can go alternating muscle groups, but no more than 5 strength training sessions, and 30 minutes is really sufficient. Because we're going to get stronger during those with this progressive overload. So I'm sorry, that is going backwards. So what is the compound movements are really crucial, and progressive overload. When I'm talking about progressive overload, that means that you're pushing your muscles a little more each time. So when you first start doing an exercise, it might be the first time that you've done this in, years. Say you're going to try and do a push-up. A lot of my clients are doing push-ups on their knees, and they're either going down just a tiny bit, or they might, let me see if I can find, that should be good. Either they're going down a little bit, or they're just doing the eccentric portion and lowering themselves down and then getting back up. So we're taking baby steps and progressively building on that. So for an example, with the bicep curl, you might be curling 3 pounds, and maybe your reps are going up, or maybe your weights are eventually going up. So that's the crucial part is that once a week or so, you're building on that a little bit. As long as you're not stagnant, even every other week, if you're like increasing your reps by one, so now you're doing 13 versus the 12, or you're increasing that 3 pounds by 5 pounds, even if your reps go down a little bit, like that's what progressive overload is. And compound movements are the ones that use the most muscles, so they're multi-joint. So like a squat or a deadlift, a row or a press, these are working our largest muscles. So like the row is going to work your back muscles, and the chest press is going to work your chest. And so these are multi-joint, largest muscles. That's what we want to do first. So this is a great way to like start with your largest muscles and work into your smaller muscles so that you still have the glycogen and the energy for those largest muscles. So a typical 30-minute class for I would suggest for you ladies, if your postmenopausal is warming up, getting everything warm, 20 to 25 minutes of strength training, progressive overload. And I like to do balance exercises incorporated, so like single leg things, because balance is so important as we age. Not, we talk about bone health, but the way to prevent any fall in the beginning is to focus on your balance. So, and then the core. We want a strong back, a strong core. So that is kind of how that, and we talked about progressive overload, so we already know this. So it's either one more rep, maybe a little extra resistance if you're using bands, maybe you're stepping away from the door. If your band is in the door, you have a door stopper, you're stepping away just a little further so that you can create a little higher tension. And I just saw some chats pop up. I'm sorry, I will answer the chats at the very end. I can't multitask very well, so I'm just going to get through these, and then I'll wrap around, and I promise I will have extra time for questions. Okay, so these little progressive overloads are hopefully small enough so that they're manageable, because you want to be realistic. Like, we're not jumping from 5-pound dumbbells to 20, it's just like maybe a 7-pound or an 8-pound. So we're just doing these small consistent things to get that definition, and the definition will definitely start to be seen around 10 to 12 weeks. Okay, so Mary Ann Lean, I already talked about her. She's the one that's the executive. She was just doing all cardio, and she was fasting, and the scale hadn't moved in 2 years, and she was exhausted. She was spent. So, yep, we just changed her routine up a little bit. We cut that cardio down because she did love her cardio, which is great. I love cardio too. 20 minutes is sufficient. And then she did her 30-minute strength training session with that balance component. And she just was, she did amazing. Now, I wanted to spotlight Dorothy because we are all here because I think right after I talk about Dorothy, I'm going to talk about what distinguishes this program, and that is the virtue-based program. And we're not here for vanity reasons, and possibly some vanity, but there's nothing wrong with that. But we want to look better, but we want to feel better. And Dorothy is like this beautiful example. She was 79 when she started training with me. She was 80 when I took this. And all she wanted, she didn't want to be like, aesthetically perfect. She wanted to live her life comfortably. She wanted to lift the vacuum. She couldn't do any of these things that you see. So she could lift the vacuum with one hand. Every week that I saw her, she would be so excited that she would say, I didn't even notice it, but I was lifting the vacuum with one hand when on the stairs, or She hoisted herself up onto the counter. And the one thing that she really, really wanted to do was to be able to get and turn around on the toilet and to be able to get up from the toilet. She could never get the toilet paper. And so she made her goal. Like, she was strong. She lived life. She was able to keep up with her grandkids and get up and down off the floor. And I love this because this is life and this is what we want. We want to grow old by being stronger and have that, just the mobility to be able to turn or pick up your groceries and carry them upstairs. And so I love to spotlight Dorothy and give credit where credit is due. She worked hard, and the thing that she is holding is one of the things that I use with my virtual clients. It is one of my favorite tools because you can lift very heavy. You can do deadlifts and chest presses, and so it's just this amazing resistant band bar that we use. So that is Dorothy. So we all have this goal to be Dorothy. And now the main thing that sets this program apart from other programs and what I want to teach you is this whole identity alignment and virtue process, because I have had this process in mind since I was in my 20s, and I just could not figure out when I was going through the eating disorder in the 20s. I was trying to put so many things together and I just could not figure out the Bible verses and everything. I could not bring it together to be meaningful to me. And so I have put this together over many years, but really kind of a structured program over the last few years. And so I'm hoping that this makes sense. It's still kind of a work in progress. So I'm anxious to see how you find this. But we know that willpower, most diets, you white knuckle it and the willpower runs out. But identity, when I first talk to anybody, I talk to them about the identity because, like, when we talk about goals, you want to have a goal and you want to, maybe your goal is to actually lose 20 pounds. Say that's your goal. That goal, when you get there and you step on the scale and that scale is 20 pounds down, you have this feeling, and whatever feeling is associated in your mind with what that will feel like, you're going to have that, but it's going to be fleeting. So that moment is what we're doing is we want that moment to stay, right? We want the feeling to stay, even no matter what the scale does. So if this goal of yours is scale based, we want to create the identity around that so that even on bad days or days that your sodium is higher and you're retaining water, whatever it is, you have this identity. So willpower is limited, identity is not. We know who we are created to be. We know that we are created to take care of our bodies as stewards. And so to take care of our body in a way that we can live in, show our faith and live it at the same time. So this is the piece that I think most people skip. I don't know, maybe not, but even if they have the identity piece where we can focus on the virtues that we're living into, I think a lot of times they don't have the faith-based underneath it. So when we're talking about secular programs, I'm just gonna do a quick mute here if anybody is not muted.
You got your stuff?
Am I not?
Okay. You're okay. Okay. So the discipline versus identity. So when we're talking about a secular program versus an identity-based program, most of them are just, just be more disciplined, right? You've got to have more willpower. And so I'm going to teach you this 3-step response that it's very easy, and you can turn it on, and it's when your discipline is low, it kicks in. So we don't want the willpower to run out. So you might lose steam and be in the pantry by 9 p.m. We don't want that. We want your faith to meet you at the exact moment of temptation. So if you are at the pantry at 9 p.m., here's where we're going to implement this identity strategy. So, and you're not alone when the temptation hits. Okay, we know we're not alone. We have this firm hold in who we are, who we know we are meant to be. And that's where I'm going to show you how the saints walk alongside of us. So, and of course, true transformation happens when we start believing something different about ourselves. And you're not starting over every Monday. So the one thing that I love is to create the identity of your future, your perfect self. Okay, so you just lost 20 pounds and you're on the scale. Tell me every characteristic and everything that you are experiencing. And what does your life look like? What does your daily activity look like? Like, are you, you probably have some really strong, structured routines in place. You work out, you probably indulge sometimes, but not all the time. So you're living into the identity. You're creating these adjectives of my future identity is this. And then when the moment of temptation hits, you're like, okay, this, my future self, she doesn't act that way. And so you start living into that identity now, if that makes sense. So you're no longer fighting the moment with willpower. Okay, so you're not treating your body as something that needs to be fixed. You have these identity statements that you tell yourself, and I'll show you how you can do that. And the virtue is like this jewel that I think is so useful. I love having these virtues. So, and mostly I use about 12 virtues. I use the theological virtues, the cardinal and moral virtues, and we focus on one virtue every single week. And that virtue is everything that we're looking to be, right? That is our end goal. We want to be this virtuous person, and we use the saints to, well, when we're talking about the virtue, first of all, we know that the vice counters it, right? So a lot of times there's a vice that leads us to temptation, and there's a virtue that counters that. So what I've done is I have saints that have struggled with the same vices that might counter the virtue. And so that's how I generated the saints that I thought matched best with these virtues. So if you're struggling with a certain vice, you might have this great connection with some of the saints that also struggle with that. And so they're going to be presented to you so you can learn more about them and use them when you're feeling tempted. So some people choose to use that pause and pivot, like the strategy we're going to talk about in just a moment, and take a moment to call on the saints. And some people just call on, God, I need you here right now because I just can't do this. So what we're doing is matching the virtue with the identity as we, so the identity is like this big, huge bubble, and the virtue is here, the saints are here, and the pause and pivot, which we'll go over right now. So the pause and pivot is something that I created a couple years ago, maybe 6 years ago now, with I was in a point in my life where my weight was very high,
Coming
and I
and
was
staying. Okay.
drinking. I was drinking every night. And so I had a lot of excess weight gain because of that. And I was struggling. That was my vice. And so I was at church, and the priest was talking about St. Vincent de Paul, and I'm sorry, St. Francis de Sales. It was St. Francis de Sales, and he was talking about his journey and the vices that he fought and how he overcame them. And it just became so clear to me that I'm like, this St. Francis de Sales is somebody that I really connected with that I never saw coming. And so he was my original pause and pivot saint. And that's kind of how this was born. So when there was a moment of weakness where I was reaching for the glass of wine, I would call on the intercession of St. Francis de Sales, and he was there all the time with me. And so like I wasn't alone. And so it was a beautiful way that I could, it's bigger than me, and it was bigger than my willpower. And so I was able to look to somebody that was much stronger than me and ask for help. So and the pause and pivot, the whole, if anybody has read Atomic Habits, the whole basis of the pause is that we, as 50-some-year-old ladies, we are actually running 95%. I just heard this stat on autopilot. Like, our choices that we make are on 95% autopilot. So the things that we're doing on a day-to-day routine are run by autopilot. So when we interrupt a habit, one that we have done for X amount of years, it's painful and it's uncomfortable. And so the prefrontal cortex on our brain is wired for the path of least resistance. And so when all of a sudden we're like, we're going to pause here and you're going to take the scenic route, it doesn't like that. It wants that drink right now, or it wants that sweet right now, or it wants to scroll on your phone, whatever it is. Like, there's so many different, a variety of vices that it could be, but pausing for 30 seconds rewires that brain so that your logical response can step forward. So it's taking the scenic route, and it is very difficult, but you're there with a saint and you're walking with them on the scenic route for 30 seconds as you're pausing. And the second time you do it, and the third time you do it, and the fourth time you do it, and the fifth time, it's gradually getting slightly easier each time. And so over the course of, 30 days, 33 days, I think is somewhere between 33 days and 60 days to rewire those habits, it makes it, that scenic route now becomes the more trodden path. And that's what we want, right? That's the path that we want. It's a logical choice. So being able to pause in that moment, whether it's like an actual pause where you're putting your hands on the counter and you're like, what does my body need right now? And maybe you're finding in that 30 seconds, maybe you do need, whatever it is that you were going for. But maybe it's not. Maybe you need to go and journal, or maybe you need to go and pray, or maybe you need to go for a walk, or maybe a glass of water. Like, there's just multitude of ideas that you could do that might be a better option for you in that moment. So, um, you know, that is kind of that whole pause and pivot. So when we're talking about the identity and, the identity being a whole, I talked about a lot of different pieces here. So the whole framework doesn't maybe seem to make sense, but hopefully it will, because if we're talking about realigning our identity as a whole, we're realigning what we're eating, how we're eating, when we're eating, all of these things. That's part of living into that new identity. We're also going to take care of our body physically to maintain the body that God gave you. And the final piece is taking that journey with either the saints or a deeper prayer life, or however you wanted to go into that identity with the virtue. So it's, we're all called to be more virtuous people, hopefully. And so growing into that virtuous person means we're going to have discomfort. And that's where the pause and pivot comes into that piece. So that's kind of how it all fits together. Now, what does that look like in an actual piece of paper? I'm about to show you. So here is an example. And this example is, this is the third theological virtue. So we started with faith, hope, and love. So this is love and charity. And each day we're focused on, like, it might be how you take care of your body or how you take care of nutrition. So we're looking at love or charity in different capacities. And the saint that was best aligned, in my opinion, to be the fitness, taking care of your body physically for love and charity, was Blessed Giorgio Frassati. So you can see this is how I have this structured. I have why I felt like he was chosen, a spotlight on him, and then I have where that pause and pivot, like if you feel like you've been punishing your body rather than loving it, let's pause and turn to Blessed Versati to intercede for that joyful movement, to take pleasure in the body that we were given. So that's what that pause and pivot might look like in the virtue of physically with hope and love. I'm sorry, with love and charity. And then the identity declaration is it's, I'm becoming the woman who moves with joy. So it's, my workout is an act of love and gratitude. So, and that's what that might look like for that day. And then I always have journal prompts to go a little bit deeper. Now, what I'm actually showing you right here is a slightly abbreviated version of the full workbook that I have. I have done a full workbook that you can print off and you can, you know, write in it, and it's a little more extensive and has more detailed information on the saint. But I just wanted to give you a visual on like how that actually kind of plays in. So you'll notice at the very top of this, it says week 3, love and charity. So that is our virtue that we're talking about. And the health habit that we're focused on for taking care of our body this week was actually sleeping. So we were doing something called habit stacking, where we're gradually taking little habits and stacking them on top of each other. So now you're focused on sleep the third week to really restore your body and refresh it, because it is so crucial to any kind of program that's you know, you're trying to repair your metabolism or your body. So sleeping is really crucial. So that is what that might look like. Okay, so this I just popped in here because if you are in your 50s or 60s, you probably know this exact episode because you're looking at this Brady Bunch. And I was thinking about like kind of I was trying to figure out how to explain it to you. And I was thinking of a clay pot and one with leaks. And I thought, wait, there's a Brady Bunch episode that actually has this. If you remember, the boys were throwing a football, they broke this vase, this clay vase, and they tried to glue it back together. But of course, these leaks are coming out of it. And so I just thought that would be fun to have if anybody else remembers that. So we, in this visualization, we're the clay. So we're the clay pot, and the potter is molding us and creating us. The little patches were soft and were weak because clay tends to not be very durable, and they'll give out. And those are the patches that tend to create leaks are the vices. And the only thing that can help with a clay pot to make it strong again is to put it through fire or in a kiln. So to repair that. And that's what the virtue does. And that's exactly what that discomfort and walking through the fire, like, that's kind of how I equate that. It's like you come out the other side so much better and transformed, but it's uncomfortable to get there. So the saints come alongside us in 3 different places. So depending on you, and like I said, what vices you might be struggling with, you might tend to think it's, maybe it's a Monica that speaks to you, or maybe it's Augustine that speaks to you. So they walk beside you and kind of open your eyes to where those cracks are. And the second way is they've walked through the fire themselves, right? So none of these saints were perfect from the get-go. They all went through hardships. And so they're extremely relatable, I guess, in that way. And they don't hand you a finished pot, right? They walk right next to you through this fire. So, and that's what that intercession might look like. So that's okay. So now for everybody who wants to try to do this, I'm going to upload something that you can grab and print out and have, but this is a quick reference guide. This is just something that, like, okay, so my emotional trigger or my vice might be, I get really, really stressed. And so the common experience is to maybe eat out of anxiety or have your, be short-tempered or anything else. So what a saint that you could go to is Saint Martha, and the focus could be simply simplifying the moment and like seeing what, just taking that breath. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, like right before this workshop, when I had 2 different video links that were sent out, I just had to take a breath and just hope that whoever is supposed to be on this link is here. But, sometimes we don't have total control. And so to hand that control over. So these are some examples. There's plenty more. So these are just some things that I have. And as soon as we're done here, I will upload all of these things for you so that you have some resources. But that is basically all the 3 keys working in the big system with order. And I hope it seemed like, I know that, like I said, like maybe it does seem like there's a lot of random pieces, but hopefully it seems like there is some order to it now, and hopefully that makes sense and that you can get some useful information out of that. So the reason that I like all three of these pieces together is because, you know, protein without strength training, you're just the skinny fat, you're just losing, and that's with the cardio, lots of cardio, you're going to be losing muscle along with weight. So you're just going to be a smaller version of the same soft person. And strength training without the protein, you need that building block to create that muscle. And then the identity is just everything. It's just one bad night. It's just willpower based. So that's kind of how it all works together. So I am going to actually just, I think I have just a couple more slides here. So if you, hopefully this makes sense. So it's your body, your training, your physically, your eating, your mindset, your emotions, everything, and your faith all on the same page for the first time. And so that is the true conversion of the health and the heart. And so that's why I named it that. So yeah. So I hope something resonated with you. And then here it's so now you have everything. Oh, I think
Do it on your own or do it with help.
I think somebody's drawing on this. Let's see. That's okay. I like a little red. Okay, so do you want to do this on your own or do you want to do it with help? And I'll show you some different ways that I can walk alongside this with you if you wanted to do this. So St. Joan of Arc is my patron saint of this program. And she's the patron saint of this program because like I have everything in my life. I feel like I have it's been leading up to this program, and my faith and all my experiences and my schooling and my passion for this, it just I love it. And so when she says, you know, I'm not afraid, I was born to do this, I'm like, that's me. And I believe that about this program. And I believe that you were all here for a reason and that we don't want to be starting over all the time. So, all right. So now we have two paths from here. The question is which one? And this is where you can either take all the resources I'm just about to upload and I will go ahead and teach you. I'll give you the resources. I've just taught you, but I will give you the resources so that you can create your own framework and path forward. The other thing is that you could work with me, and there are a couple different ways that you could do that. Do you ladies see these red marks all of a sudden on the, okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not sure where those came from or why they're there, but okay. So the paths forward are, you know how to create your own protein targets, right? And you know how to you can piece together a strength training program as long as you're not duplicating that same muscle group. The identity and the virtue and the structure, I'm going to give you that sheet. So the accountability, you just have to try and stay accountable and be consistent. So that is going to be the main thing that separates this. And they're done with you, depending. Oh, thank you. I'm not sure what happened, but thank you. They're gone. Okay, so personalized macros and protein targets, I can help dial those in with you. If you wanted to work, depending on what level, like I have all different levels that you can. So we can, we can work every week. We can work once a month. I can help build all of these identity things. But the main thing I'm kind of excited about is if you are a Catholic woman, you probably know that September 8th is a pretty a significant day. And September 8th is when it's the Blessed Mother's feast day. It also happens to be my birthday. And so I have always loved having that shared feast day. But because of that, this year, September 8th, I'm having a 1-day sale, and I actually am going to just release it tonight for you ladies so that I can actually, I'm just gonna have the sale ready, up and active until tomorrow night, and then I will take it down, and then I will republish all the sale things on September 8th for 24 hours that day also. So if you're not sure, you want to pray about it, think about it, talk to your husband, yeah, there's time. So let me show you what that would look like. Oh, Twana is just another example. She's just great. So the coaching program could, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for just a moment so that I can upload some things for you. Okay. Are you still looking at my screen?
No, we see you.
You do. Oh, good. All right. Okay, I am going to share something with you. And this is, I will make sure you get, here's the saints. I'm gonna download this and upload this for you. So, sorry. I honestly am not very good with computers. Probably know this. Oh, in the chat. Okay, great. So, all right. I am going to open the chat real quick just for a second here while I'm going to attach this file, and then I'm going to read through these while you can look at this. Oh, it said I was in another meeting. Shoot, is Terry on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
am.
good. Okay, so you were able to make it on. Thank you. Okay, so this right here should be an 18-page. I believe that's something. Do I have a simple plan? You know I do, Meredith. All right. Let me see. Here we go. The few ladies that need to mute. Hopefully we got that taken care of. Oh, that's okay. Whoever needs to leave, or if you didn't catch the whole thing, or if you just want to rewatch this tomorrow, I'm going to send you the replay. So don't you worry. Okay, so do I have a sample plan? Yay, it works. Okay, good, great. So this will be recorded. Yes, it's being recorded, and you'll get the replay tomorrow. So were you able to get that Saints for Emotional Eating and Drinking packet?
No, nope. Didn't come up.
It should be in the chat.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, we got it. It works.
Okay, so yep, just click on it in the chat, and
show that. All right, in the chat, I'm not getting. Oh,
it
here we
should.
go. Here
Okay,
we go.
you got it there. Excellent. Okay, I am going to upload my birthday sale.
I didn't get it.
You might have to scroll. I can, if you didn't get it, I can send it with you. I can send it directly to you also. And the birthday sale, I can share my screen and kind of walk through this if I can try and do this again. I know I can. Okay. Now, can you see my screen right here?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Okay, does it say like, does it have a big picture of me talking to a computer?
Yes, yes.
Great, thank you. Okay, so I am on September 8th, I'm turning 59. So that's why I'm having this sale. So I've never done this before, but I thought this was
Oh,
a
I
really
like
good
that.
excuse. So everything is going to be 59% of the price that it normally is. Now, most things, not my full coaching, but my full coaching to one-on-one to totally tailor everything is my rollout price from when I went online 5 years ago. So that is also so that's going to be discounted. But so there's different options. The one that I wanted to show you ladies is the community group. That's where the St. Francis, nope, it was the Versace, that whole the template that was uploaded that you could see the information about him. That is the mobile version of the workbook that gets emailed every single day. So in the Sisterhood Community Group Coaching, it is a monthly group that I've already done everything for you. I walk you through. You get emailed every Monday through Thursday, Monday through Friday. You get emailed the same, all the information that you saw. And then you get the full workbook every Sunday so you can print it out if you want. Now, if you're like, okay, I don't have $80 every month to do that. This is, if you do, this is a really good deal because it's all my virtual classes you can participate in, and it's weekly group calls. So you get to know the other women, and you're in a group chat on my app, and everything is done through my app. So that is probably the thing that I would say if you're even, and there's no commitment. You just sign up. If you don't like it, you just don't have to do it. But I also have a workbook that you can just do. It's a one-time workbook download, and that is normally $100, so it would be $59. And so that one I don't have on here. But if anybody is interested, I think it's on my website, but the coupon is not active for that yet because I didn't link it. So don't buy it yet until I get that coupon link. So here we can walk through the virtual classes. If you just wanted virtual classes, you want to strength train. This is an image right here. You can see we all have our bars. These ladies are all in the comfort of their own home, and I lead them. I guide them through the strength training sessions. So that would be $59 or included in the sisterhood community. So if you just wanted to set up a couple coaching sessions, like I want to personal train just a couple sessions with you, or get my nutrition, you could just do the standalone coaching or personal training sessions, and those are discounted per half an hour session, so you could do that. And then the full coaching is $200 a month, which is what it used to be. And the full coaching, if you decide, I normally only take 3 clients a month. This month, because of this sale, I'm going to extend it to 5, but it's, so if you're interested, I would say that link is going to link you to my calendar. So you should just go ahead and click that link to actually have access to my calendar to book that, because once the 5 spots are gone, that will close down. And if it doesn't if they close before September 8th, that's fine. If they close within the next 24 hours, that's great. I will not be offering that to on the September 8th sale. I'll just offer the other items. So it's whatever would benefit for you. Like I said, there is a full workbook, and oh gosh, I am going to send you the link for my website. So if you wanted to, you're going to have to give me a little bit of time to create a coupon code for that. But let me stop sharing here so I can see the chats. So I will write.
I'll take a picture.
So that is my website. The meal plans are included in the book. Oh, no,
Practical
there's not meal plans necessarily. There's behavior modification. So in the book, like with Versati, we're talking about behavior modification, and we're talking about stacking those habits. So we are doing the habit stacking. So every week you'll see like, okay, you're adding to your habit stack with, so it's tracking food, adding your protein, and sleeping 7 to 9 hours. And it will give you, I have a video on in the workbook, like how you would set that up, or with the group, like how that works. So it's kind of walks you through all of that. So it should be fairly self-explanatory. It's really nice if you have a group of ladies that you wanted to walk and keep each other accountable. So just to have like a small group study with, each of you with the workbook and kind of accountable to each other. That's a beautiful way to do it also. So something that you could do with your parish. So let's see. Thank you. Please send the saint list. You got it. All right. Okay. Thank you, Patty. I saw the saints projected on the screen. Okay, Meredith, are you still on? I'm not entirely sure what that means. Oh, you're very welcome, Cheryl. Thank you. Um, Perfect. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Linda. Um, Beautiful. Thank you. Thanks, Amanda. I will get that. I believe it's Elke. I will grab that right now so that I can send that over. If anyone else, here, I will give you my email so that you can, it's Maura@coachmaura.com. Email me directly, and you can actually just email me directly and say, hey, I would like to have the saint, the packet didn't come through for me, or I couldn't download it properly, or you're on your phone and it just didn't work. And so, I get technology issues. So no worries. Okay. Any other questions? You are very welcome. Thanks, Bridget. That you are very welcome.
Can I
Any questions for anyone? You can unmute yourself and ask. We are right at an hour and a half, so I'm happy to stay if you are. Perfect, great, wonderful. Thanks, Tracy. I will, if you give me about after I get off the phone call tonight, it will be the same coupon. Birthday girl, I think, is what the coupon code was on that. I will create that to be associated with the workbook also. So yes, absolutely. Thank you. So just give me about 10 minutes after we end the call, and I'll have that ready for you to purchase the workbook with the coupon code. So
I'm a little bit confused about
Yeah.
like the various programs,
Sure.
like
Oh,
you
yeah.
were saying,
Yeah.
like monthly, weekly, all that kind
Mhm.
of stuff.
Yep. So you mean how often the the differences between the one-on-one coaching versus the group coaching?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's the coaching and so you have like the exercise program
Yep.
thing where you just
Yep.
so that doesn't come with anything else. It's just the exercise. So it's not doesn't have the workbook or it doesn't have the diet. It's just or the other things. It's just the exercising. Is that right?
Yeah, just the virtual classes would be just the virtual classes. Now, most of the virtual classes are included, like with the group coaching, and that's including the workbook, the virtues. It's the whole framework set for you. And
Okay.
it includes the
Okay.
exercise and the habit stacking, but it's not the difference between the group and the full coaching is the tailored and individualization. So when we're doing the one-on-one coaching, that is specific nutrition based on exact goals that you have. So I'm working with you to control your calories, and we're working together to, depending on if you're in a rebuild and a metabolic, like if you're rebuilding your metabolism, then we work together with a specific target macronutrients. And the group coaching is really great, and we do general, like this is how you can figure out like what your calories should be, but it's not exact. So it's not specifically tailored to you. So the virtual classes are a standalone. Coaching or personal training could be a standalone. But all of those are included in the full coaching. Like you get everything, weekly calls, and you know all the training you want. So
Okay. So
uh,
in other words, you can get virtual coaching like one-time thing or two or three
yep,
or whatever. You just buy
yep,
that part of it.
yep.
Okay.
And if you wanted to do the group coaching and then have an add-on one coaching like once a month, you could do that
Yeah.
and have it totally tailored to you. So that would be the most cost effective, and having that same support system, but just being able to tag on, one coaching session a month or every other week or whatever you wanted to do. So whenever
Mhm.
you felt like you needed to, or a personal training session. So you could do that.
Thank
So
you.
does that make more sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. It does get confusing when it's like, well, this one includes that, but that one doesn't. And so you have to, yeah. So what other questions can I answer? Any other questions? Let's see. I'm going to grab some of these emails here and email some of these saints over. So I'm not looking right now at the chat, so you can just unmute yourself if you have any questions. Or if you don't, we are done, so we can.
I'm not very techie savvy, so
What's that?
I'm not very techie savvy, so I was having trouble with the whole mute thing. So
I
I
get it.
just figured it out.
Oh, good. Okay, now are you one of them that wanted me to email you?
Uh, for the Saints, I think I downloaded it already.
Great. Excellent. See?
Okay.
Progress, a
No,
win.
I just need to speak to a few people. I don't know about the coaching, the full coaching. That's
Absolutely.
$600 a month,
Hmm.
and that includes the manual and all of that?
Yeah, that includes everything. Yeah. You'll get
Okay.
you'll get the workbook every week, so you won't get like this big dump. It's I send you every week. I'll send you um the week, and it will have like the video explaining like what we're doing, and it will have the whole workbook, and then you'll get that abbreviated one that you just saw every day. So
Mhm.
that's what it would look like in both the group coaching and in the one-on-one coaching. You get the workbook all up front in each week, and then you get the
Okay.
mobile every single day.
Okay. And the as far as making the payment, as soon as if I were to sign up, I would have to pay it right then and there then?
No. So one thing I'm sorry I did not include is the fact that there's an enrollment fee, and I'm having that half off right now too. So that's 125. So if you wanted to sign up, you could just pay the enrollment fee, and that would hold your spot. So and then it's whenever you start. So if you wanted one of the $200, if you, assuming that you're starting within the next couple weeks, it would
Yeah.
be fine. I would just hold your spot.
Okay. Because I need to talk with my husband and all of that before I even think about being able to purchase it. But so I would get that discount for the enrollment fee.
Yes, you would get the
Okay.
half off enrollment fee and then the discounted $200 a month. And you might do one thing that a lot of my clients like to do is you can start private coaching one-on-one and then move into the group, or you could start in the group and move into private coaching, or like someone else was saying, you can get private coaching add-ons to the group coaching. So
Mhm.
and that might be the most cost effective. So
Mhm.
it's really up to you. Something to
Right.
think about, talk to your husband, pray about it.
Okay.
But I'm just here for anything that you need. So
Okay. Well, I
I'm happy.
appreciate it very much.
Good. I hope that this was helpful. Did you guys find this to be something that might be something you can put into practice?
Probably.
Good.
Probably. I feel better about this program than all the other ones that I've seen and have tried in the past. And this one just feels a little, I don't know, just right is a better way of saying it.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's
so
great.
I've been praying about it a lot. I know that I've struggled very much with my weight up and down.
Mm,
Um, life changes and things like that have happened, and it causes me to just stop what I'm doing, and then I suffer for it with
yeah,
eating and
right.
exercising, and then trying to exercise and then hurting myself where I have to stop, and
Right.
so there's a
Yeah.
whole bunch of things going on. So yeah,
Yeah.
but this feels like something doable.
That's
So
great. Great.
yeah. So I really appreciate you very much, Maura. And my birthday's on September 11th, so we're there
Look at
together.
that. Great.
Yeah.
And how old are you going to be?
I'll be 61.
Good for you. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well done. All right.
Yeah.
We'll be birthday girls. So, yeah,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Okay. Well, thank you again so much. You're awesome. And I will let you know definitely. I'll be joining one or the other, so definitely
Perfect.
gonna do
That sounds
something.
wonderful.
Okay?
I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
dear.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Does anybody else have any questions? I opened it was the page, no information. Were you all able to open the page up? I downloaded, I got the page about you. All right, well. Okay. I'm not sure which one. Is anybody having any trouble downloading or viewing those? All right. Okay, I think then I am just going to, I'll probably just send all of these out to everyone again tomorrow morning because I'm ready to, I want to share everything. So, yes. But yes, if you would like any information or have any questions, please go ahead and just let me know. You know where to find me. So, all right, have a wonderful night and happy Feast of St. Monica tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.